Hello and welcome. Chris from Missouri here, bringing you another video about vintage baseball cards. And in this video, I'm going to show you some cards, but first I would like to take this time to wish everybody a safe and happy 4th of July. Now, the first of my two stories go like this. When I was younger, my family would take vacations together. My sister and I, and mom and dad, and then my younger brother came along. But as we got older, one year I would stay at the house and my sister would go, and the other year she would stay at the house and watch the house while my parents and I would go. And one year she got to go to a minor league ball game in Pikeville, Kentucky, visiting my grandma and grandpa in Kentucky. Now, so I was kind of jealous. Well, the following year I got to go, and it was a really cool experience for me because the Pikeville Brewers in 1982 were playing the Bluefield Orioles. And throwing out the first pitch of that game was none other than Bob Feller. Now, Bob Feller was in his 60s, I believe, and stuff, and he didn't want to embarrass himself, and so he needed to warm up. And my grandfather somehow got it to where I got to warm up Bob Feller. I got to catch him while he was warming up, and he kind of liked the idea that Bob Feller kind of liked the idea that he could still make a 15-year-old kid's hand hurt. And he warmed up, and he told me that he played catch every day. And I heard that story later on, that he played catch every day till he got really old. And but anyway, he was in his 60s, and we were sitting on a park bench right before the game started, and it was right by the dugout. And I was sitting there with my grandfather and Bob Feller, and my grandpa leans over to him, and I don't think they knew each other. I'm pretty confident they didn't know each other until then, but my grandpa could probably never meet a stranger kind of thing. And he asked Bob, he said, "Hey, do you want to pull?" And that's Pull. And I was like, "What? That's a weird term." As a 15-year-old, I didn't know what that was. And Bob said, "Sure. What do you have?" And my grandfather said, "I got some Old Crow." And so he pulls this pint of Old Crow out of his pocket, twists off the top, and hands it to Bob Feller. Bob Feller takes it and takes a pull off the bottle of Old Crow, and Grandpa puts it back in his pocket, and I'll never forget that. And it was kind of fun, and I thought there was a chance I was getting ready to catch the first pitch that Bob Feller threw out, but I did not get to. I might have told some friends later on that I did, but I really didn't. I didn't get to catch that, but I did get to warm him up, and that was one of the highlights of a vacation that I ever went on as a little kid. Now, to prove that, or to not to prove it, I'm going to turn the clock around, turn the phone around, and I'm going to show you a couple things. So Bob Feller signed this ball, and as you can see, it's really faded. I've had it out. It's always been out since I got it home, and on there it shows that the date that I have, and it's June 24th, 1982, and I was 15 years old. It has an amount of wins as 266 wins and 102 losses, and it's autographed to Chris from Bob Feller. And I just really love that piece. And I'm at the National. I'm going to work on some Bob Feller run. I can't believe I haven't by now, but I have a few of his cards. There's the 53 Topps, and it's beautiful. Here's the 52 Topps. Love it. 52 Bowman. And 48 Bowman. I think I'm going to try to get his 1938 Gowdy big head, and maybe even go after the 49 Leaf. It goes like this. I was watching Alex Bowman 53 the other night, and I was part of the live chat that he had, and there was somebody that he mentioned that was thinking about doing a YouTube channel, and then possibly not. He just didn't know if he wanted to, scared, whatever. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you about my day yesterday and my morning this morning, and also that Sunday night, though. Also Sunday night, I listened to Sammy Thunder, and at the end of part of his show, he said that he would like to reach out and do some collaborations, maybe, and all that kind of stuff. And because he saw that people were enjoying it, and I think he's done a couple before. But anyway, I saw that. So the next day, so this is how my yesterday went. I text a group. I'm in a group text with a bunch of 5 YouTubers, and it kind of goes like this. I'm with 3D. It's a group text with 3D 80s kids and midlife card crisis, and Theo Clemente Collector and Jake Legends Never Die. And I made the mistake of, and they're fun. I made a mistake though of doing a group text, trying to get it to Jake. But anyway, got a group text and asking if anybody had Sammy Thunder's number. And that whole conversation went with those 5 guys. Started out making fun of me for not knowing the number, to making fun of people, making fun of each other. If they were a slabbed card, would they be a gem mint or just authentic? Then it went to Pepino Man licking cards. Finally, I get a text from Jake that says, "Hey, here's Sammy Thunder's stuff." So I call Sammy through the contacts that Jake gave me at Legends Never Die, and Sammy and I talked for a little bit, and I kind of had an idea of maybe for a collaboration that we could do. Then I got a call from STL Puckhead. Now remember, this is while I'm at work kind of stuff, and he was looking for John 3D80's number. So I text John of 3D80s, and I said, "Hey, could I give your info out to Billy at STL Puckhead?" And John said, "Why, sure." So I text STL Puckhead back with John's info. Then I call STL Puckhead and I tell him, "Hey, I got a card. Can you send off for me to SGC?" He says, "Yes." So follow me here if you would. Then I get this quick message from Ray as I'm driving. So I'm trying to message back while I'm driving, and all safe drivers should. That was dumb, but somehow I dropped the message, and I dropped even all the information. So now I really don't have a message from Ray from Philly, which I was really excited to get. So now what I do, I call Don of Don's Field of Dreams, and he doesn't answer because he's too busy for me, and just kidding. But anyway, he texts me back and he says, "Hey, I'm working. I'll call you later. Here is Ray's information." So I text Ray back, and I don't get a reply yet. And so then, as I'm heading to STL Puckhead's house after work to give him a card so he could send off, I call Mike Baseball Collector. And I have to pull over in a Walmart parking lot so I don't drop his call. And we talk for a good 20 to 30 minutes. It was a great time. I hadn't heard from him since he was on his mission trip. And then I deliver the card to STL Puckhead right after that. And now I'm traveling to pick up my daughter from work, which I do every day. And we ride home together. I get a call from Jake. Well, Jake and I talk for 20 minutes before my daughter comes out. Great conversation. So I call Jake Legends Never Die, if you don't know, if you still follow me. Then I get another quick text from Ray. Okay? And then I get a call from STL Puckhead about that card and about getting in contact with John still. And finally, at the end of the day, I get a message from Mike, Canadian Cards. And in that message, he's telling me that I need to look up Rip Fan 8, Rip R.I.P. Fan 8, who I met in Strongsville, Ohio, had a couple of drinks with, and met him at a card show. And now he did his first video. So tune over there and watch that. All that happened in one day. In one day. All those friends in one day. And it's all because Mike Moynihan of Baseball Collector and Ray from Philly got me started on collecting cards. Speaking of Ray from Philly, this is 4th of July. I just spent 30 minutes talking to him. All this is because I pushed play and did my first recording. So to that young guy on Alex Bowman 53's channel that asked the question, should I do that? It enhances your collecting experience. It broadens your world of friends. And without listening to Mike or following Ray, I would not have had that same opportunity. I'm having the time of my life when it comes to collecting cards. You guys will too if you're thinking about joining and doing a YouTube channel and doing a video on your stuff. Just push play. Now, guys, look up Rip Fan 8 and take a look at his channel. And thanks for looking at my Bob Feller cards. Have a great 4th of July, and remember, it's just a hobby. Collect what you like.